All right, here we go. Let's go through the practice test. So we're ready for our test. Okay, number one is just asking us to identify the different forms of the quadratic. If there's no parentheses like A, that's standard form. If there's two sets of parentheses like B, that's factored form. And then we have the one set of parentheses would be vertex form. Now remember, each form has an advantage, right? So it's up to you to know when I want which form. So the first one, they're asking me to find the y-intercept. What form is it easier to tell the y-intercept? And that's standard form, right? The y-intercept is just the third term, C. So the y-intercept, just looking at this, is 0, 5. If they asked me to find the maximum or the minimum, but they wanted to find the maximum, remember that's the y-intercept. Sorry, the y-coordinate, not the y-intercept, the y-coordinate of the vertex. So I want to pick the one in which it's easiest to find the vertex, because if I have the vertex, well then I certainly have the y-coordinate of the vertex, and so I want it in vertex form, which would be this one. And I could tell that the maximum is just the y value of 5. Okay. If I want to find the roots, well, I want it in factored form, which would be B. Remember, the roots are, I just change the signs of what's in parentheses. So my two roots are positive 3, 0 and negative 5, 0. Change this sign and change that sign. Okay, axis of symmetry, that's the x-coordinate of the vertex. And so I want it in the form it's easiest to find the vertex, which would be C. And I can tell that the axis of symmetry is the x-coordinate, which is positive 2. Remember that you change this in vertex form. Change it to the opposite. All right. First one's asking us to graph in factored form. This is factored form. So the first thing we do is we find the roots. So I look at this and I change the sign. My two roots are negative 4, 0 and positive 2, 0. All right, so I go ahead and I graph those. This is 2, 0. This is negative 4, 0. Now the axis of symmetry is the middle of the roots, right? You could probably just look at this and say that the middle's right here. It looks like it's right in the middle of those two. But even if you couldn't, say you couldn't tell that easily, you could always just add them up. The middle is just add them up and divide by 2, and you would get negative 1. So whichever one. Okay, so after you do the middle, the third step, so the first step is to find the roots, second step is to find the middle, third step is plug in the middle. Okay, so plug in the middle. I'm going to go back to my equation, and every time I see an x, I'm going to replace it with a blank parentheses. So I see an x, something plus 4, and then something minus 2. The middle is negative 1, so I'm going to plug in negative 1 into there. So I'm going to get negative. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. So it looks like, because of this negative here, my vertex is positive 9, because you're multiplying negative 1. Remember, that's what the negative really means. Negative 1 times 3 times negative 3. So that's positive 9 right here. And so I could tell this is negative 1, positive 9. And that looks like this. There we go. All right, this one's in vertex form, so there's only two steps of vertex form. Number one, identify the vertex. Remember that I changed the inside, so it's negative, so I make it positive. And the y value is I don't change the outside, so that's 3, 8. Okay, so my vertex is 3, 8. 3, 8's right here. This is 3, 8. Okay, now normally my pattern is 1, 3, 5, but the number in front changes my pattern. So I multiply my pattern by negative 2. This is negative 2, negative 6, negative 10. So I'm going to go over 1, down 2. That's right here. And then back over 1, down 2 in the other direction. Okay, so this looks like the point 3, 6, and 2. Sorry, that's 4, 6, right? This is 4, 6, and 2, 6. Then I go over 1, down 6. It's right here. Over 1, down 6 is right here, which is 6, 0, and 1, 0. And then I could go over 1, down 10, but I just want 5 points. And that's how vertex form works. Okay, then we have standard form. First thing we're going to find in standard form is the y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is just the third number, so my y-intercept is 0, 6. So I'm going to start graphing that. 0, 6 is right here. We're going to graph that first. Second step is to find the axis of symmetry. For standard form, we use this formula. B is 4, so negative B is negative 4 over 2 times A. A is negative 2. So this is negative 4 divided by negative 4, which is positive 1. So my axis of symmetry is right here at positive 1. All right, now I found my middle, which is my axis of symmetry. Now I need to plug in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to go to my equation, and every time I see an x, I'm going to replace it with a blank parentheses. All right, so that would be 1. Okay, so we got negative 2 times 1. This is negative 2 plus 4 plus 6, which looks like it's 8. All right, negative b over 2a. All right, so my vertex is right here. Okay, now my pattern, we have the negative 2 in front, so my pattern normally is 1, 3, 5, but I multiply the pattern by negative 2. So it's over 1, down 2, over 1, down 6, over 1, down 10. Okay, so if I go over 1, down 2, it's right here. That's the point 2, 6. If I go over 1, down 6, it's right here, right as a root. And over 1, down 6 is right here. Okay, this is negative 1, 0. This is 4, 0. And that's all I need to graph in standard form. Okay. Okay, here we're just doing some vocabulary. The y-intercept's where it crosses the y-axis. That looks like right here, which is 0, negative 5. The roots is where it crosses the x-axis. That's right here, which is negative 1, 0. And right here, which is 5, 0. The vertex is the lowest point if it's going up, or the highest point if it's going down. That's right here. So my vertex looks like 2, negative 9. The minimum is the y value of the vertex, which is negative 9. The equation for the axis of symmetry is the x-coordinate of the vertex. It goes right through the center. Maybe make sure it's an equation. How I wrote it's kind of hard to tell, but the x-coordinate of the vertex is 2, so the axis of symmetry is x equals 2. And then the intervals of increase. Well, it starts off going down, right? The red interval right here, all the way from here, looks like it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down. And then right here, it stops going down. And then after that, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Okay, so where it stops going down is right here. The x value there is 2. And then it goes up for forever. Because this way continues going up. And then how we say it's decreasing is it's decreasing forever this way, which is to the left. So I say it starts off on the left, and then it goes down, it goes down, it goes down, it goes down, all the way to the vertex where it stops going down at 2. Okay, we've got to find the equation given the points. So they want it in vertex form. So that's y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Okay, remember the vertex is hk. So let's plug that in. We're going to be solving for a. Okay, so we know what h is. Since h is 2, it's going to be minus 2 squared minus 7. K is 7. And then we're going to plug in our point, which is x and y. So we got negative 4 for y. X is 5. And we got to solve for a. Okay, let's do it step by step. Let's subtract the inside first. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, 3 squared. Well, that's 9. Okay, I got to solve for a, so I'm going to move the 7 to the other side. And I get 9a equals negative 4 plus 7 is 3. And then I need to divide by 9 to get a by itself. 3 divided by 9 is 1/3, because this is the same thing as 3 over 3 times 3. So I can cancel this out and cancel that out. Okay, so I have a. Now I just go back to this equation, and instead of a, I write 1/3. So my equation is 1/3 x minus 2 squared minus 7. That's my equation. Okay, we got to do this one in factored form, so I want to write it like this. And once again, I'm solving for a. Okay, so y is 21. We don't know a. X is negative 1, and the first root is negative 4, so I'm going to say plus 4. And the second root is positive 6. So x is negative 1, and I'm going to say minus 6 for positive 6. Okay, we're going to do inside the parentheses first. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Negative 1 minus 6 is negative 7. So I have 21 equals negative 21a. To solve for a, I got to divide by negative 21. And I get a equals negative 1. So I go back to my equation, and I write my a. This is negative 1 times x plus 4 times x minus 6.